Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first episode of Devil's Den. What this channel is going to be all about is basically I'm going to be going over every single New Jersey Devils game of the 2022-2023 NHL season. We are going to be reacting, analyzing, and looking at this team that has brought oh so much disappointment in the last couple of years. I have been a New Jersey Devils fan for, I would say, over at least the last 10, maybe 15 years. I have loved this team. I have watched this team. I have cheered for this team in a household that is torn apart by hockey fans. Just a little something you guys should know of me. My favorite New Jersey Devil of all time is the famous Martin Brodeur, as you can see by the jersey hanging up behind me. Absolutely love them as a goaltender. In my books, greatest of all time. We've got our New Jersey swag on. We're going to be wearing this every single video so that I can share my love of this team with you. And it is that's the wrong one. Hold on. It doesn't matter. It shows opposite. Number 9. I'm wearing Taylor Hall's jersey. I love Taylor Hall when he was in Edmonton. Freaked when he came to New Jersey. And then he won a Hart Trophy with us, which was, yes, loved it. And then he left. But yeah. Anyways, what this video is just going to do is I just wanted to give a little bit of an introduction to myself, and we're just going to be going over the opening night roster and my hopes for this season. And hopefully it doesn't turn into a shit gibbon of a season, shall we say. So, first things first, let's go over the roster, since they have officially confirmed this year's roster for this upcoming season, and I'm hyped for it. I'm very excited for it. So, first of all, goaltenders. Oh, I'm knocking shit over. First things first, we do still have our supposed 1A, 1B Jonathan Bernier with Mackenzie Blackwood. But as everyone knows, Mackenzie Blackwood is still out with an injury. He's actually having hip surgery, so God knows when he'll be back. Probably not anytime this season. But in the meantime, we did do a fun little off-season pickup with, I'm gonna butcher names, so I apologize, Vitek Vanacek, who was the 1A, 1B combo with Samsonov on the Washington Capitals. But we picked him up on the offseason. Interesting little pickup. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this. Mackenzie Blackwood, our starting goaltender, seems to be a glass cannon. He'll start off the season getting like 942 save percentages, and then absolutely shit the bed once he gets injured. So we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, we do have our 1A, 1B combo of Mackenzie Blackwood and Vitek Vanacek. Now, on defense, I am feeling a little bit better about our defense this season with our already pre-established players from last season and some off-season pickups. So first of all, we've got Ryan Graves, who, if you guys remember, we picked up last year from the Colorado Avalanche. He did all right last season. He did his job for the most part. Unfortunately, everyone on our team did not have a good year last year, except maybe Jack Hughes. We also have our huge signing from last year, which was Dougie Hamilton. Now, from what I saw last year, I actually wasn't that disappointed with Dougie Hamilton's play. We'll see what happens this year, because we did get some additions, starting with John Marino, who we picked up on the offseason this year from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, John Marino, I think, brings some physicality to our defense, which is kind of nice to see, given that we don't have a whole lot of it. Severson was never really a physical presence to step up on that blue line and knock a guy down if we need to. Was never really that, so I'm pleasantly surprised by the addition of John Marino. We'll see how that pans out this year. Next up is our newest addition to our defensive core, Simon Nemec. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I had never heard of this guy before we drafted him. When I saw that Montreal had gone with Slavkovsky and not with Shane Wright, I was thinking, oh, this is it. This is it. Pick up Shane Wright. But then I stopped to myself and I thought, what are our needs? Would it be nice to have an all-star another forward? Sure. But what are our needs? We have a team that can score goals. We have a team that is not offensively hindered. But what we do need is some goddamn defense, which Simon Nemec helps us out with. Now, I took a little look into Simon Nemec. His numbers are good. Now, we don't always know how that'll transfer to NHL hockey, but hopefully we'll see some nice growth from him over the next couple of years. We'll see how that plays. Our next defenseman, of course, I've already mentioned him, Damon Severson. I don't know what to think of this guy anymore. When we first picked him up, and even into the first couple of years he was with us, he did good work. He's an offensive defenseman. You put him on the power play. He's got a nice big shot. He can skate well. But over the last couple of years, he's made me kind of wonder about whether or not he's going to be a long-term player in this club. And I want to know if that's going to be the case. Next guy, Jonas Siegenthaler. Oh boy! I love this guy. I really, really, really love Siegenthaler. So, again, although New Jersey did not do well last year, I saw really big improvements from Siegenthaler. He may have not got, an ass ton of points, and that's okay, because he is fairly new. He's a fairly young guy, so we'll see him improve and see him grow and see what we got here. But for what we got last season, I think he's going places. And I'm happy and excited to see where he's going to go this season. Now, our last defenseman is Brendan Smith. Now, I'm going to reserve judgment because I'm not going to lie. I don't know a lot about Brendan Smith. So we'll see what happens this season. Otherwise, that's our defense. Could it use some improvements? Maybe. But I think what we're looking at is a quality core of defensive players that I think can only get better going into the future. Now, remember, Devils fans, we still have Luke Hughes to look forward to. Luke Hughes, who is down in college still, and he's a defenseman. I think he was a number 1 or number 2 overall draft pick for New Jersey a couple of years ago. I am super excited when he eventually joins the Devils group. He's productive. He's a great defenseman. He can be offensive and defensive, which is really nice. I could see him on a power play. I could see him working with Hamilton. I could see him working with Siegenthaler. It looks like it's going to be a fun time. Anyways, on to our forwards. I'm not going to go into too much, detail on the forwards as much as the defensemen because we have a lot of forwards. But we'll see. So first of all, Nate Bastian. Again, like a lot of our younger guys and a lot of our more depth players, I'm excited to see what he can do. We have had him the last couple of years, and he's been all right. He does his job. He's a third, fourth line player. Adds some grit a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Jasper Bokefest. Bokefest? Bokefest? Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna butcher these names. I apologize. Again, fast, good puck handling. We'll see how we go with the stretch. Next up is Jasper Brad. I love Jasper Brad. The fact that it took us so long to sign this guy in the offseason, it should have been one of your first priorities this offseason, was signing Jasper Brad. The guy almost had 100 points on a team which finished almost in the basement of the league. If you let him slide next offseason, because he only has a 1-year contract, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm going to lose my shit. Next up is Eric Holla, another offseason pickup that we got from the Boston Bruins. Now, Eric Holla provides some physicality, something that the Devils have been missing for a couple of years now. And again, I'm excited to watch him play. I want to see him level guys. I want to see him get that big body clean, but also level some people. It'll be a good time. Alexander Holtz. My personal opinion on Alexander Holtz, I think this kid has the potential to be to New Jersey what Alexander Semin was to Washington Capitals. This guy is fast. He can score. He needs some space to grow. But I think this kid is going to be one of our biggest stars in the next 3 to 4 years. I'm calling it now. That is my prediction. I could be totally wrong. I genuinely am super hyped to see Alexander Holtz play. Next, Jack Hughes. I think his resume says enough. If he had played a full season, was on pace for a 50-goal season, I say again, with a team who was almost in the basement of the league. But yeah, fun times. I'm really excited. I think the guy had 25 goals in 50 games or whatever, or 40-something games or whatever last season. Again, he's small, he's fast, and damn can he shoot. So good. I'm really hoping Jack Hughes can at least hit 30 or 40 goals this season. I do not see why not. Next up, this guy, I'm not 100% sure. I'm looking at NHL.com, and I'm looking right from the New Jersey Devils page. It says that we are keeping Andreas Johnson. I heard he was put on waivers. I don't know if he's still with the team or not, but Johnson's fine. Third or fourth line guy. Had a little bit of a disappointing trope with the Maple Leafs. We picked him up last season. We'll see what he does this season. Michael Mcleod. As someone who is in the GTA in Canada, for those of you who know what that is, Michael Mcleod is a fun and exciting player. Again, I'm kind of just waiting to see him reserve judgment until I see more of him, because he did alright. He didn't do anything spectacular last year, but again, he's young, he'll grow, we'll see what happens. Dawson Mercer. Here is a young kid who I think has the potential to be a superstar. He came out of the gates last season, just putting points on the board left, right, and center. I want to see more to this kid. I want to see him on a second line this year, because I think if you let him grow with the right players and the right development, this guy's a 30-goal scorer every season. No problems, okay? Our biggest signing from this offseason to start the season is, of course, Ondrej Palat. Now, Ondrej Palat, for those who know, who was on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, he kind of got overshadowed a little bit by your Vasilevskis, by your Stamkoses, by your Hedmans, right? And he was a second-line player, sometimes first line if they wanted to mix it up. I want to see him play with Hisher and Hughes this year. I want to see him getting 30 goals a season, and I think that he can play and develop these young kids, because he's been in the league for a while now. I want to see that development. I want to see that leadership role out of Palat this season. I think he has the potential to get 40 assists. And I truly think he can get 70 points this season with the Devils. Right? I really do. I could see him getting 30 goals and 40 assists, or 25 goals and 40 assists. Easy. I don't want to hear any more excuses from this team. We need to get going. Igor Sharangovich. Again, I am probably just disgracing these names. Igor Sharangovich. Young guy, has had so much development in the last 2 years, especially last year. Our rookies and our 1 to 2 year development players last season were still putting up 15 to 20 goals a season. Let's get off our asses and let's get some points on the board this year, please. Sharangovich, I'm looking at you. You had a great season last year. I want to see more out of you. Thomas Tatar, we picked up last year in the offseason. Honestly, I don't really expect much from this guy. I know a lot of people were excited when he came on board. He's a depth player. He's an older player. He's there to help the young guys. That's my thoughts on him. Miles Wood. So, I have kind of a back and forth relationship with Miles Wood. I really like Miles Wood because I think he brings the aggressive play the Devils are looking for. My problem is this guy sometimes blurs the line between a hard-hitting, clean player and getting dirty. I really don't like dirty players. I have a problem with it. I don't care if you're down. Play the game and play with class, please. I beg you. Lastly is Fabian Zetterland. I haven't seen enough of this guy play, so I'm reserving judgment until I see more of this guy play. I don't have really an opinion on this guy so far. Now, I'm going to bring one person who is a major part of our Devils core, who is already injured going into the season. Nico Hisher, who is supposed to be, or is developed as, an anchor centerman for this team on a first or a second line. He is already injured. Now, originally they said it was a cramp, but now it's saying that it's more of a hamstring problem, which, again, it could still be cramping. However, I am starting to get a little panicked with our players, especially our young guys, getting injured what feels like all the time now. Nico Hisher and Jack Hughes Hughes by himself was out almost 20 games at the beginning of the season. Okay? Head injuries, leg injuries, upper body injuries. I am concerned because if we can't get our young development superstars on the ice to play the game, then what exactly is the point of us keeping them on the team? I'm not saying trade Hisher or Hughes. No, don't. You do this, I show up at New Jersey, and I hypothetically burn a building to the ground in a video game. However, it makes me nervous when I see these guys constantly getting injured, constantly getting hurt. I appreciate their vigor and their excitement to play the game. But god damn, please, take it easy when you're resting. When you come back, I understand you want to give it 110%. But please, be smart about this. Trainers on the team, be smart about when you are letting these guys play. Because if they keep this up, they're going to be toast eventually by the time they're 30. And I do not want to see these guys hurt. And I do not want to see this team, this New Jersey team, getting so busted and out of and losing its way because we've hurt our young guys. So, anyways, that's going to wrap it up for our first episode of Devil's Den. Now, we do play the Philadelphia Flyers tomorrow night. I will not be watching it live on YouTube. However, on the Friday, you will be getting a video from me, or even hypothetically Thursday, at 1 or 2 in the morning, depending on how long this game goes, or maybe at 11 or whatever. You will be getting a video from me reacting to our first game of the season. Let's start it with a win. I believe in this team, and I believe that we can beat the Philadelphia Flyers. And then we have our home opener on Saturday against the Detroit Red Wings. Boys, I'm looking at you for 2 wins and 4 points to open the season. Let's get it done. Let's have some fun. And most importantly, for the love of God, please stay uninjured. I beg of thee. Please. Have a good one, guys, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Adios.